Done well in free agency, and more importantly, they made some good trades along the way. All of those would be moot if he didn't hire Ken Hitchcock, as you mentioned, who he has a history with. But just the way that they've been able to build this team, they've got some good prospects down in the American League as well that are knocking at the door. Jaden Schwartz being one of them, who played some games up this year with the Blues. He was outstanding. So the future is definitely looking bright in St. Louis.
Pietrangelo could easily be a Norris Trophy.
Top defenseman, that and much more coming your way from our red carpet post-game show here at the Wynn Las Vegas and the Encore Theater.
Able to do in terms of how they're able to build their team out through the draft. They've done really well in terms of drafting, done well in free agency, and more importantly, they made some good trades along the way. All of those would be moot if he didn't hire Ken Hitchcock, as you mentioned, who he has a history with. But just the way that they've been able to build this team, they've got some good prospects down in the American League as well that are knocking at the door.
Also, what was going on? Let's check in with Heidi and see how her night was. Hey, Heidi.
Hey guys, thank you so much. Well, what a fun night here in Las Vegas. I have to say the best part has been working with the three of you. It's been a lot of fun. Of course, for these fans and the players and the general managers and the coaches, memories were made. And as you saw, all the fans rifling through here all the way down to the Encore, where the celebrations are going to continue. There's a big after party. And with that said, I'm out of here. See you guys. It's been a lot of fun.
We might be losing Heidi now, but certainly, yeah, Heidi, it was a lot of fun. And I know you were taking care of a lot of the tweets throughout the night, so a lot of players were tweeting in and rooting their teammate on here this evening.
Absolutely. If you could see on the screen, there was a ticker. There was a lot of tweeting going on. I think, Catherine, you might have been part of that tweeting. I know you're a big social media junkie. Kevin Weeks, I don't know about Barry, but definitely.
He's learning.
I'm learning.
I know you're on Twitter. Were you tweeting tonight, Barry? I didn't see anything.
I got trainer wheels. I'm using training wheels.
Were you using hashtag NHL awards? That's the problem.
Long, hard ride from Melrose on Twitter.
You're wearing double runners right now.
I am wearing
double runners. But it's all good. This is what coming into the league means. As a young guy, you want to be able to find somebody that's older, that's been there, that can mentor you. In this case, that guy for Malkin was Sergei Gonchar, a guy that really knew him from playing back home in Russia, knew him as a youngster, took him under his wing in Pittsburgh, did a great job mentoring him and helping him acclimatize, I should say, to life in North America. It's not easy when you come from Russia or from anywhere else for that matter. Oh, by the way, new language. Oh, by the way, you're going to play in the NHL, different way of life. There's so many variables. Sergei Gonchar did an outstanding job, and credit Gino Malkin for mentioning him today.
Well, I thought that's one of the best talks I ever seen Malkin give in the NHL, and he should do more of that. Just speak from the heart, not worry about what he says or have notes like he did in the first acceptance speech. But the guy's unbelievable. He deserves the heart, 100 points.
MCL and everything. So to come all the way back and be healthy enough within the last calendar year and become the best player in the world, that says a lot to me. People were questioning maybe his resolve and his drive. He told Dan Bylsma in the offseason he wanted to be the best player in the world. And that says something when you got a guy by the name of Sidney Crosby, number 87 on your team. So that shows me not only his drive, but his will to work, his will to win, and the just the dedication that he put into his whole rehab process. It's outstanding.
And we found out his mother's a very good cook tonight.
Yes, we did. Exactly. All mothers are, though.
Kudos to his mother. Kudos to his mother.
Well, it's this season, inside the locker room, on the ice, he's just a huge asset to this team and one of the big leaders.
You know, as a coach, you know that he's going to bring it every single day. And that's really comforting because you know that you don't have to worry about matchups. You don't have to worry about face-offs. You don't have to tell him to work harder or do any of those things. He just shows up. He's a consummate professional. You could tell by his interview there. And it just translates into not only how he performs on the ice, Barry, but also the way he handles himself off the ice. He's a great leader.
And don't forget, this guy's coming back from a concussion. We didn't know if this guy was ever going to be 100% again. 100%. He's come back. He's better than he was before he got hurt.
200%.
He's on back as these guys are 200-foot players. They're three-zone guys. They'll play in any situation. Again, as a coach or as a teammate, you know what you're getting from those guys. You don't have to worry about matchups if the opposing team is coming with a Malkin or a Giroux. You play them head-to-head, and you're in pretty good shape.
And having known Patrice Bergeron for a long time, he's one of the classiest guys and nicest guys in the National Hockey League.
So concerned about not only himself, but the welfare of everybody else. He's just a great human being. He's a very compassionate guy. He's a father. He's great in the community. Does a lot of things locally in Ottawa. So Eugene Melnyk loves having him there because not only is he able to still perform at a high level on the ice, but he brings that leadership and the sense of community off the ice for the Senators and their fans throughout the greater Ottawa area. We were treated to him and how he handled himself in All-Star Weekend. He was outstanding, so gracious, very humble. He's just a great guy, especially for a young group. He's the kind of guy that you want in your locker room to have your...
Find out who will be on the EA cover this year coming up for the upcoming 2012-2013 season and the Mark Messier Leadership Award. That and more coming your way next. Welcome back, everybody, to our 2012 coverage of the NHL Awards. The fans still here. They're loving it, guys.
These guys are
They've
great.
been here all day. You have to give them a lot of credit. They've been here
Major
all day,
props.
having a lot of fun, seeing a lot of players.
One
Great
guy said
day.
10:30 this morning. Him and his son
Wow.
came here at 10:30 this morning.
That is
LA
early.
Kings fan. So
That's when you were here this morning.
I was here earlier than 10:30, as a matter of fact.
I love that, Bear. You were. Yeah, two great nominees, certainly with Pecoreni and the season that he had in Nashville. But Claude Giroux is just outstanding once again, just continues to get better, become a legitimate star in the National Hockey League, relishing the opportunity to match up against anybody in the league and the league's best and go head-to-head and lock horns with those guys. I remember speaking to Sidney Crosby earlier this year. I said, Sidney, who's the best player in the NHL that doesn't wear number 87? He paused for a second. He said number 28 in Philadelphia, Claude Giroux. So interestingly enough, that momentum continued on through the regular season and the postseason.
We had a pretty good playoffs against number 87.
Correct, exactly. In the postseason, they ended up locking horns and doing battle there. So that was a little foreshadowing there from Sidney
and he's
Crosby.
really become a fan favorite in Philadelphia, guys. He is adapted.
Necessarily expect that because you're expecting them to be perimeter-based guys, making plays, trying to do things off the rush. But as skilled as he is, he's willing to score goals in different ways. He's willing to pay the price, take his lumps, give some lumps out. So he's become a real complete player for Peter Laviolette and the Flyers.
Guys, they always make the players look amazing on those cover shots, right? Lots of action.
Winnipeg Jets just continues to perform at a high level, very strong, an honorable guy again in the community, within the locker room, very well respected. You talk to players around the league, everybody talks about how fierce he is as a competitor, but how kind and how compassionate of a man he is off the ice.
Kev, I think we saw it in the playoffs this year. Phoenix hasn't been in the playoffs very much, so we haven't seen Shane Doan perform in the playoffs this year.
It's not easy to play that way. Believe me, you look at guys that have talent and offensive ability, and sometimes you want to emulate those players. But to play a very complete game and be an 82-game player, play that way each and every game throughout the regular season, and if and when your team gets in the postseason, that's very demanding. Each one of these guys deserve the utmost respect for playing that style.
All right, the Masterton Award given to the player who demonstrates perseverance.
Suffered with that neck injury and the head injury. The fact that he was willing to come back and be hungry to score goals, pay the price to score goals, play more of a power-based game to go along with his tremendous shot and his skating ability, that says a lot to me about his character. There's always dark times when you go through an injury, regardless of the nature of the injury, but especially one as serious as that one in nature. So I was extremely impressed watching Pacioretty. Their top line was outstanding. Him, Cole, and Desharnais all season long for the Montreal Canadiens. You really have to tip your hat. And I don't know what's growing in the water in Connecticut, but now all of a sudden you've got Jonathan Quick from there. You also have Mass Pacioretty, who's from there as well. So maybe they're starting to spawn some new players.
I drive by the Connecticut River just about every day. I'm not going to tell you what's growing in there either.
What he meant to Mike Fisher when Mike Fisher first came in to the Ottawa Senators. Again, mentoring him, showing him how to be a pro on and off the ice, the little things, getting involved in the community. He was actually mentioning that today. Mike Fisher mentioned that backstage to myself and Daniel Alfredson, sharing the fact that Alfredson had a huge impact on him in terms of him as a young man, now growing into be certainly a man now, and playing in the league. And we're in a very unique situation here working in this great game, each and every one of us in our own capacity. And for these guys, you're able to leverage the position that you're in a good way, certainly for the benefit of other people and other causes. He does a great job.
Yes, he does.
All right, we are going to continue our coverage here from the Red at the NHL Awards. We continue our coverage from the Wynn Las Vegas and Encore Theater right after this.
Here today, individually in terms of teams, a lot of the nominees, the recipients, the award winners, you name it. But just imagine, it's a party, guys. That's what it is. It's a party. We're having a party here. Imagine saying with your buddies, hey, we're going to have all my best buddies and we're going to go to Vegas, or all your best girlfriends and we're going to go to Vegas. So we have all the hockey world, so many key people in the hockey world. We all descend upon Las Vegas. A lot of our fans, our corporate partners. It's a big party. I love it. It's a great experience.
It is a great.
Was Gino Malkin. I loved his speech, especially his second one was really witty. It was funny. Very tough to do in your second language. Henrik Lundqvist was funny too in his acceptance speech of the Vezina. Certainly he was overjoyed with emotion, and deservedly so. So I just had fun listening to those guys and their reactions, Bear.
Landeskog may be a little bit of a surprise because Nugent Hopkins got all the ink all year long as Rookie of the Year. He missed more games than the rest of the guys. He missed 20 games, so I thought they might give him the Rookie just because of the games he missed. But Landeskog was a great choice.
Oh, it's been fun. For Heidi Angel, Kevin Weeks, Barry Melrose, I'm Catherine Tappan. Thanks for joining us here at the NHL Awards. We hope to see you next year as well. Same place, same time. It's been a fun week.
It's been an awesome week. Unbelievable time. Look at the fans. Look at Hank doing his thing. Ladies loving it. Carlson, he got his Norris. It was a great.
We'll get all the action and recap coming up on NHLnetwork.com, NHL.com, and Nickelback performing this evening with a great performance Evgeny Malkin taking home the top prize of the Hart Trophy, and what a night it was.
That's
Amazing.
Dustin Brown.
Dustin Brown, he's still lifting that cup. Barry, you had him on set.
We had him on set. He was great. Quick came over and talked to us on